Well, I think the statement is well, self-explanatory, really. And we use it because we feel that popular music should be used in order to make serious statements. Because so many groups sell masses and masses of records and don't raise people's level of consciousness in any direction. And we find that quite sinful, especially in these serious times.
How would you like people to react then to the title of this LP?
Well, if they eat meat, I'd like them just to think about it.
I think it's safe to say that almost every person with access to social media or the internet in the last decade or so have heard of, seen, or listened to the Smiths at some point in their lives. Whether they like them or not is indifferent to me, but a consistent trend that always seems to pop up is that their music is some of the greatest of all time, and I really want to dissect the theory behind that. Firstly, I want to get the elephant out of the room. I preface that I love the Smiths, and I rank them as one of my favorite bands ever, alongside Oasis or Tears for Fears, or any great music from that era. But effectively, favorite does not mean best, and many people say that the Smiths are the best. From tracking their album ratings on more common databases like Rate Your Music, it's clear that even the Smiths' worst effort ranks highly among the community. And I think the reason why, albeit a tiny bit corny, is because the Smiths' music lives through everyone's emotions. They constantly change and go through these different facets of life, from childhood angst, which is what most people align the Smiths to early adult struggles, and then all the way to midlife crises. It just seems no matter the age or the atmosphere, their songs just work in whatever moment you're given. Now, take some of their biggest songs for example. Stuff like There Is a Light That Never Goes Out, Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now, and even Back to the Old House. Some people just argue that these are depressing songs and they have no place other than that. And while it's true that Johnny Marr's arrangements and Morrissey's vocals dive into the depressing ambience, it's more of a shallow view to simply box the Smiths into a corner. As when you take a slightly deeper dive into their discography and look at songs like Asleep, Reel Around the Fountain, What Difference Does It Make, Still Ill, like, the reflective tone that they give off, it gives way to releasing true feelings, and I would say a more complete understanding of acceptance as a whole.
I was quite happy to be unemployed because I didn't want to work.
That gets you into trouble these days, that does. You're
Yes, I know
denied
it
benefits.
does. But you know, these days anything gets you into trouble. But I couldn't think of a job I wanted to do, so I thought I shouldn't do any.
But I suppose we'd all have to sympathise with the white-collar workers. Only ever really enjoyed successes, had no experience of going through this.
Therefore, why sympathise with them?
Right.
So, I came across this quote while suffering through my recent university finals, and honestly it really pushed me to go against the grain and not study at all. And looking at it now, I feel like it can be applied in the same context of the Smiths as well. You know, the Smiths are known for being against the traditional system, something that Morrissey really embodied. He never really wanted to work. This is highlighted through a lot of his songs, particularly Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now. And this makes me think, do we just like the Smiths because we wish we were the Smiths? I mean, maybe. But it might just be the fact that every young adult or teenager may want to try something other than the traditional system. Some people love the arts, some might love the trades, some might like to take time off and just travel or figure things out, and we are seeing a higher spike in these trends now more than ever before. This could be why we've seen the recent spike in the love for the Smiths as well. Now the final thing I think I have to get across is, does the feeling still stand? Do the Smiths hold legacy or quality? Honestly, I think the Smiths are loved not because of the music they put out, but the idea of their music, and the very notion that something so mainstream could in fact be so personal to each and every individual person without holding any value to your average listener. I think that is what makes the Smiths great.